Anything that you believe in that makes you a better person is something that is worth believing in. I've really been wanting to film a video on manifestation. I filmed a video recently talking about becoming the main character and basically having your dream life, and I think manifestation is something that definitely goes hand in hand with that. So I want to talk to you guys about my favorite manifestation tips, and I'm kind of going to categorize them into quotes that I think really help to grasp the idea. What is law of attraction? So the law of attraction is just basically similar energies attracting each other. So positive energies attracting positive energies and negative energies attracting negative energies. When I speak about energies, these can be things that you're thinking, things that you're saying, people, circumstances. Everything is made up of energy. Anything that you put out positively is going to come back to you positively. For example, if you've ever noticed you wake up and something goes wrong and then you're just thinking to yourself like, fuck, like my day's completely shot now. Like I'm going to have the worst day ever. Since you're thinking that negative thought, you're going to have the worst day ever. You're literally setting yourself up to have that bad day. But you actually have a lot more power than you realize. Or you may already realize this and you know about manifestation, you know how all of this works, you just want to hear my personal tips. Leave some comments down below and let me know your tips, because I'm no professional with this and I would love to, try out some new things. As I was saying, if you wake up and something goes wrong and you think to yourself, damn, that one bad thing happened, like, oh well, okay, like I'm not gonna let it ruin my day. Like I'm gonna make myself a coffee, or I'm gonna let myself sleep in a little bit longer. You know what I mean? You turn it into this positive morning rather than thinking that it's now a negative day. That's a very surface level understanding of what the law of attraction is. You can watch The Secret, you can read the book The Greatest Secret. There's so many YouTube videos and things like that that go really into depth on what the law of attraction is. I think one of the main things when it comes to manifestation is believing. A lot of the times people want to question it or wonder, oh, this isn't true, how could that be true, like that doesn't make sense. And obviously question things, that's literally how you're gonna grow your understanding and grow your knowledge. If I didn't question things, I wouldn't have learned about manifestation in the first place. Questioning things is really important, but it's also really important to keep learning. If you're gonna try and manifest and you don't believe in it, it's not gonna work because you're not fully using your full potential. You have to really believe in manifestation for it to work. So try to learn as much as you can about it. That way you can really back it up, not to anybody else, but to yourself. And you can give yourself a reason to believe that whatever you're thinking is going to happen for you. The first quote that I want to mention is thoughts become things. So this quote I've actually loved for a very, very long time. I used to want to get tattoos really bad. I don't anymore, but at the time I wanted to get tattoos, and that was something I actually wanted to get tattooed on myself. Looking back at it, I didn't really fully understand the full idea of thoughts become things. What I mean when I say thoughts become things is literally, I have it written down here, so that's what I'm looking down at, but we are shaped by our thoughts. We become what we think. That's kind of a more in-depth understanding. The way this works is the things that you're thinking are the things that you're going to attract. So if you're thinking to yourself, man, I really don't want to be late to work. I don't want to be late to work. I don't want to be late to work. I don't want to be late to work. You keep thinking that to yourself and repeating it to yourself. The universe can't hear the I do or I don't. It doesn't grasp that. It doesn't have an understanding of this person wants this and this person doesn't want this. All they know is they are putting the energy out of this thing. So you're going to become late because you're gonna get stopped at a red light, or you're just, you know what I mean? Like things are gonna happen to make that thing that you don't want to happen because you focused on it. You've put your energy on it. Rather than thinking, I'm gonna get to work on time. I'm gonna get to work on time. I'm gonna get to work on time. The universe is gonna hear on time, and it's gonna deliver you on time. I'm not saying that you can leave at 11:59 and show up at 12 o'clock if you're 30 minutes away from your work. I'm not saying this is like some magic, but obviously you have to put in the work yourself as well to meet the universe halfway, at least in my opinion. I think that's really important to realize that the universe doesn't see I do and I don't, and that will help you change your mindset a lot, because I think in the beginning when I was manifesting, I would think, oh, I'm really scared of this thing happening. I don't want this to happen. I don't want this to happen. I don't want this to happen. And it would happen. And it was because I was putting my energy into that thing, not realizing that me saying I don't want this to happen wasn't going to prevent it. It was going to make it happen faster. Realizing that rather than thinking about what you don't want, think about what you do want. That can be with anything, literally absolutely anything. If you see yourself gaining weight and you're like, I don't want to be gaining weight, and you think to yourself, I don't want to gain weight, I don't want to gain weight, I don't want to gain weight. Don't think about it like that, because the universe doesn't hear the I don't want. They only hear gain weight. So you're going to gain weight. You have to think to yourself, I have the perfect body, I have the perfect body, I have the perfect body, and the universe will hear perfect body and deliver to you what your idea of a perfect body is. When you're writing out your wish list, you don't think to yourself, I don't want this and I don't want this and I don't want this. You think to yourself, I want this, I want this, I want this. You have an intention behind the thing that you're hoping to receive. So it's the same thing with the universe. Don't write a list of things you don't want, just write a list of things that you do want. And the things you don't want will naturally just not occur because you're thinking about the other thing. The next quote, and I really love this quote, it is, honestly, I love all of them, so I'm going to say that about every single one, but it is, you attract what you are ready for. So this is a really, really big one. I think a lot of the times with manifestation, we want to rush things, we want to put a timeline on things, and it is very good to have goals and to have milestones that you want to meet at this time and this time and this time, but you can't force it to happen. And you thinking to yourself like, oh, it didn't happen in time, it's never going to happen, is actually you just blocking the manifestation. So it's not going to end up happening. So I wrote down here, put your order in with the universe. Don't sit anxiously and wait for it. Work towards it and expect it to happen. The moment you believe it may not happen, you block yourself. It could have come tomorrow for all you know, but now it cannot. So what I mean by you block yourself is you are thinking to yourself, I want this thing, I want this thing, I want this thing. And the universe is hearing, oh, this thing is something that they're putting their energy towards, I'm going to deliver it. So it's coming to you slowly through experiences, through opportunities, through everyday life. It's slowly coming to you. And the moment you think to yourself, it hasn't come yet, so it is never coming, now you're putting your energy towards it not coming to you. I hope that makes sense. It goes back to that idea of the universe can't understand what you want and what you don't want. It doesn't work in the way that it's like, oh, she's thinking that this isn't going to happen because it hasn't happened yet. It just sees it's not going to happen. So your thoughts are going to become your reality, and now it's not going to happen. So you have to keep yourself open. If you still want that thing, obviously your choices may change or your decisions may change. So you may not want that thing anymore. So maybe you change your mind. That's something completely different. But if you're still wanting this thing and you just all of a sudden switch your energy to thinking that it's not going to happen for you, it will now start to not happen for you. Another thing I want to mention that I didn't write here, but I feel like a lot of the times manifestation is very pressuring, if that makes sense. Is pressuring a word? I don't even know. It can apply a lot of pressure to you because it makes you feel like I have to be thinking positive thoughts 24/7. I have to be thinking about everything I want 24/7. And yes, that is the case. If you can help it, definitely try to do that. But don't make yourself anxious ridden or overly like analytical of your thoughts because you're just trying to have this positive outcome. You can allow yourself to live, and when you have that negative thought or when you have that, oh, it's not going to happen for me, all you have to do is correct yourself. You don't have to be like, oh my God, I just thought that, now it's gonna happen. Like, oh no, like, what do I do? Like, just think to yourself, that's not true. Like, that was just a negative thought. That was just an intrusion in my mind. That isn't actually how things work. It is gonna happen for me. I just have to be patient and work towards it, and it's gonna happen. And that's all you have to do. Don't give attention to those negative thoughts and feel those negative thoughts by trying to combat them. Rather, just be like dismissive of them, if that makes sense. A lot of people do vision boards and mood boards and things like that. I actually do mine on Pinterest. On Pinterest, I can go in and edit the pictures so that if it's like something I don't want anymore, I can delete that. And it also is just very inspiring because there's so many pictures on Pinterest. My Pinterest board, I'm pretty sure it's private, so you probably couldn't see it, but for example, I used to have Miko on my Pinterest board. Not exactly Miko, but a dog that looked very, very similar to him. I had that picture on my vision board from years ago, and when I was looking for a dog, I actually didn't want a small dog. I wanted a medium-sized dog. I wanted to get a rescue, but at the time, I was living in a rented apartment, and my landlord was requiring that it had to be hypoallergenic, which was the reason that I started looking into hypoallergenic dogs, and Miko was the dog I ended up getting. But I did manifest him, not realizing earlier in my life. That's just kind of crazy to me. Like, for me, I feel like when I see things that I've tried to manifest come true, it really like puts a lot of power behind my belief in manifestation, which I think honestly makes my manifestation even like stronger, because it's like, oh, that worked already, so it'll work again. Like, why wouldn't it? It already has worked. And if it doesn't come true, then it just wasn't meant for me. I feel like I've become very trusting of the universe, whereas before it was more like, I need this thing, I need this thing, I need this thing. And a lot of the times when you're doing it out of that desperation, you're creating a lot of resistance between you and that thing. And as I said before, everything is energy. So everything should be flowing to you very easily. When you have resistance, it's very like, I'll see if I can find a picture so I can put it on the screen, but picture something like a flowing energy line. When there's resistance, it's very zig, up and down, up and down, up and down. You see how many peaks and like how hard of a path that would be to follow, which means that it's going to be a lot harder for that thing to get to you if it ever does. So don't put resistance between that thing. Do things out of gratitude and just an understanding that it's going to happen for you, and just belief. Like, you have to have hope if you want to be manifesting, because otherwise everything you do is going to be out of desperation, and it's just not going to really work as easily for you. The next quote is something I also really like, and that is, "What I want is already mine." So that can be kind of hard to understand, because you're like, if it's something you want, clearly you don't have it. Something I've learned recently is the idea, or not the idea, but the fact that time is not real. I know that sounds so stupid. Even when I say it, it sounds like time isn't real. It's literally 11:54 a.m. Like, yes, it is. But when we started on this earth, there was no such thing as time. That is something that has been created by man. We like to think, oh, this is going to happen now because of what's happened in the past, or I'm doing this now for my future, which isn't bad. But the more that you are present in the now, the more that you will be able to be aware of your surroundings, be aware and appreciative of your life and of everything that you have, of everything you are. And I think that the more that you're able to be aware and be present in your life, the easier it is to be grateful. I think I said in my last video, I was talking about how basically my idea of everyone is that everyone likes to be appreciated and being praised. And so when you tell someone, oh, you did a really good job, they want to do more. When you tell a dog, oh, like, good boy, he wants to do that thing again. It kind of works the same way with the universe. When you show appreciation for the things that you have, for the way that you are, for the way you look, for the people that are in your life, when you are grateful for those things, the universe wants to provide more so that you can be more grateful. Like, they see that you're already this positive energy, and it wants to provide more positive energy. I think I've seen a chart online, and usually you can figure out what is positive energy and what is negative energy just thinking of positive and negative. Like, you know, angry is negative, you know, happy is positive. It's pretty like self-explanatory, but seeing that chart actually does help a lot, because you'll realize that things like shame, that's a negative energy. That's not a positive energy. Things like jealousy, that's a negative energy. Realizing the difference between negative and positive energies really can help you understand when you are in a negative or positive energy. I totally just got off topic there, but I was talking about time. So I was listening to a YouTube video, and she was talking about, I'll link it down below, it's actually the same girl as I got the inspiration for the Becoming the Main Character video from. She was talking about how when you picture time in like this linear way, which we do, past, present, future, you will imagine yourself in the future and then, you know, see yourself in the past and learn from your past. But everything is happening now. There is no such thing as future and past. It's just literally now. So when you say to yourself, everything that I want is mine, what I mean by that is, if there's no such thing as time, your present self has already experienced that thing that you want. I really hope that makes sense. So a lot of the times people talk about like spirit guides, or talk about guardian angel, or people that are just looking over you. And one of those people that are looking over you is your future self. It's the version of you that knows the best, which is kind of where your intuition comes in. So your intuition is coming based off of things that has happened in their past, which is for your future self, your present. So when you have that feeling of, oh, I shouldn't do this, you probably should follow that feeling, because your future self knows what happens if you do or if you don't do this thing. I know it can be kind of complicated to understand. Even for me, I find it still really confusing. But what she was saying in the video was that your future self has experienced this thing that you want. So when you say to yourself, I want this thing, you've already had this thing. You already have experienced this thing. So just remind yourself that that thing you want is yours. It is already yours. You've already decided that's something you want to put your energy towards, so it's going to happen for you. The next note that I have here, which is kind of still the same thing of what I want is already mine, is speaking them into existence, or affirmations. I'm sure you've heard of what affirmations are, but pretty much it's basically saying I am blank. So I am positive energy. I am happy. I am abundant. Like all the things that you aspire to be, you say I am. That way you're putting them out in the energy of now. You're not saying I will be this and that. You're saying I am right now, meaning you will become that thing much faster than if you're putting it out in the future. If you're putting it out to be something that's in the future, who knows when that's going to be. But if you're saying it's now, it will get delivered to you right away. Next little thing I want to talk about is visualization and the feeling. So visualization is actually probably the manifestation method that I use the most often. I used to use it even when I was younger without even realizing that I was manifesting. If you're someone who daydreams very often, this will be very easy for you. Just basically turn your daydreams into things that you want for yourself, and, you know, close your eyes and imagine yourself living this dream life and having this dream life. but try to back it up with the feeling. So I used this example on a podcast I was on recently. I'll link the podcast down below because it's actually like my best friend's podcast and it's really good. But I was saying, for example, well, you might visualize yourself waking up in this huge house with a beautiful view and a cute husband and an adorable puppy and like, you know, all this stuff. But when you visualize this thing, what do you feel like in that moment? How do you feel? Do you feel grateful? Do you feel excited to wake up? Do you feel this and that? Close your eyes and really try to embrace that feeling, because the feeling will really like almost kick that manifestation almost like full. For example, this is like, you know, a car moving at this speed, and then you have the feeling behind it. It literally presses the gas so much harder so that like thing can come to you faster. The next thing is writing down goals or scripting. Scripting is more so when you write out a journal entry of something that you want to happen. So you act as though it's already happened. Kind of goes back to the whole speaking in the present. So it'd be like, today I woke up and I had this, this, and this happen to me. When it actually hasn't happened to you, you're just talking about something that you would really like to happen to you. And that's just one way of scripting. And then writing down goals, obviously I feel like almost everybody writes down goals, but writing down goals really does help because you're being able to focus your energy onto what you actually want. That is pretty much my main tips for manifestation. This is my main tips on how to have your dream life. I am not in any way an expert on this. This is just my personal experience and the things that I've learned. I know obviously manifestation isn't for everyone. Not everybody believes in it. Everybody has different belief systems, but I do think that it's really fascinating to hear about other people's beliefs. Everyone's different beliefs recently to me has become so inspiring. Like, even if I don't believe what they believe, hearing someone else's beliefs about something is just very fascinating, because it's like, wow, like that's your take on life. Like, as I think Alexia mentioned in her podcast, she was saying how like just because you're the main character in your story doesn't mean that you're the main character in everybody else's story. So I think that that's something really important to remember, is be more understanding of other people's beliefs, be more respectful of people's beliefs. Anything that you believe in that makes you a better person is something that is worth believing in. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. Hopefully it wasn't too long. If you have any tips on manifestation or you have any questions, I may not have all the answers, but I will definitely try and help out if I can. And thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe to my channel and happy manifesting.